Hey there, happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining me tonight for Craft Night with Friends. We are going to be working on the Granny Square Quilt some more. We have the back that we're working on, just kind of sewing a bunch of the leftover fabric from the front together. So we'll be working on that more tonight, making some progress. Thanks for joining me here. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners, and I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So thanks again for joining me here. And thanks everyone who participated in our little preview of the website. It will go live tomorrow, so not password protected anymore. So we'll talk about that tonight. But thanks again for joining me. All right, let's go. All right, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me. Just to kind of touch base here, we're working on the Granny Square Quilt. That's this feller here. So we have the front done, and this is all kind of my leftover fabric, and I've just been sewing it together for the back. And we got a few crazy pieces together here. And I thought we'd press this, and I kind of want to cut into them and put strips in between at various points to make it a little bit more improv pieced a little bit, and use up some of these assorted strips and that sort of thing. So I think that is the plan tonight. All right, so, and thank you guys for the I'm going to just start by ironing this, but thanks for joining me for that preview of our website that we had today. We had a 2-hour preview, and it was really helpful. We asked you guys to if you see anything weird, let us know, and all that sort of thing. And all the feedback that we got was great. We only took the password off of the new store for an hour or 2 hours, and we did that so we could test things. So, just in case things went super wrong, then we could maybe catch it before we make it go completely live. So we'll be making it go completely live tomorrow. So if you missed out, it'll be up tomorrow. And just one thing, if you did order today, one thing that we just didn't think about is, if you get a digital pattern, now it can be stored in your digital library. So there'll be a digital library. But because we went to password protected again, just for the rest of the day, you probably couldn't access it you probably can't access it now. And that goes for if you got our new raccoon stitching sampler too. If you've been getting emails for the new stitching sampler, I know some of you guys are getting those emails now, they won't link anywhere yet because it's password protected still. So we forgot that people would be wanting their patterns and wanting to click those links to get to the site. So I'm sorry that we're going to have that delay, but tomorrow you should be able to access all of that. Oh, Paula says, hee, I downloaded right away. Yes, so you can download it right away. Or you'll be able to download your patterns, but if you lose it or can't, or just need to access it from a different computer or something, it will always live in the digital library. But that was smart thinking. Paula, she downloaded hers right away, so she gets access to hers still, even though we're password protected. We kind of thought about that in the middle of it, and then we're like, oh, bummer. So anyway, if that's you, if you're having trouble trying to get back on, or the password's not working anymore, or you can't get your patterns, that's why. But they'll be there tomorrow. So sorry about that little hiccup in the system there. It's not even the system, it's just our thinking. Flaw in our brains. But yeah, I think it's gonna go okay. So yeah, I'm excited. So thanks everyone again who popped in and who purchased stuff and who left us comments on things that were broken and that need to be looked at still. That is all like invaluable for us. So we'll be working on those. Well, we'll always be working on those. But yeah, it's going to help us with tomorrow. We're working through some of the email stuff still, but I think that should be good to go as well. So for this week, I hope you guys can bear with us a little bit more. So tomorrow we'll like I said, take off the password, but it is going to that other website still. So penguinandfish.shopify.com. We are going to be changing that so the penguinandfish.com works on its own and goes to that site soon. I'm just a little unclear on how easy that switchover is going to be. Nope, Catherine, the password will be gone tomorrow. You will not need a password anymore to get into the website once we make it go live tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. I don't quite know what time that will be yet, but we'll let everyone know in the Facebook group, and you can just keep checking back. Jennifer, why don't you email us at info@penguinandfish, and we can talk about it there. Like, let us know what you're thinking and stuff. We'll be figuring all that stuff out tomorrow. Oh, Terry wasn't able to get into the store today. Yeah, so we were only open for 2 hours with a password. We didn't want to completely open it up to completely, just because we wanted to test things and make sure that it all functioned first. So it will be open tomorrow. So everything should still be there, be okay. But it was fun. It was fun to get your emails and try and fix things and all that. So yes, so we also released the June embroidery of the month. So I know some of you are like, well, it still says May on the Facebook page and stuff. I will be changing that tomorrow. So the people that got in today to the shop during that 2-hour period got a preview, or they got to see what the June embroidery of the month is, and we'll be putting that out everywhere tomorrow, and it'll be available. So we're a couple days late on the embroidery of the month, and that's why. It's because we're just going to be having it on the new site during our switchover. I'm kind of pressing this right now because I want to figure out the final height of it as a pressed piece. So, because when you press the seams, it gets a little bit nicer, and you gain like a 1/8 of an inch here or there. So I kind of wanted to do that first, because what I'm hoping is I need to widen this a little bit, because these are all around the width of the fabric, which is around 44 inches, and I think some of them actually were shorter, so it's probably closer to 40 inches wide. So I want to add pieces in it that are like the height of this whole thing. The height is quite a bit here. So I kind of want to I kind of want to just sew some strips together and see if they're long enough. And then once they're long enough, just chop this in half and sew some strips to it. That's kind of what I really want to do. Kind of treat this as a super large improv piece is where my head's at right now. I just kind of enjoy using up fabric that was in the quilt. Using it up. Oh, yep, Jenna says we'll send an email as well when the website goes live, so keep an eye out in your inboxes for that. We're also kind of switching our email provider over too, so we're hoping there's not hiccups there as well. But thanks for being my guinea pig on these things, and soon, like within the week, we'll have it all worked out, and then it's as if there was never any problems, hopefully. So let me know how your weekend was, everyone, too. We had a beautiful weekend here. John's parents came into town, so we got to hang out with them for a little. And I watered the plants in the garden, and that's about, and John was doing some, like, woodworking-y type stuff. We got a new printer, and he's making like a big printer stand on casters for it. So he was out with the saws in the garage on Monday, and I was doing some website stuff, but I did get to hang out in the garden for a little bit, and it was just gorgeous, beautiful outside. Makes it feel weird that it's Tuesday here, so it's been Monday in my head all day, but that's not right. Oh my gosh, Jennifer. I'm so sorry to hear that. Ugh. Oh, Gretchen said cooked out and had a few generations over for water balloon fights. Oh, man. Yeah, it was warm out, but there was a breeze, so it wasn't too bad. But, oh my God, you guys, I audibly gasped this morning on the way driving to the warehouse. It's beautiful. Like, it was beautiful today, like mid 80s, but like barely, like not humid, like not super hardcore humidity. So it was beautiful. I got in the car this morning. It was just gorgeous. And then on the radio, they were saying, oh, it's going to get more humid next week. And I'm like, that's a bummer. But then they said it was going to be like mid 90s. Ugh, so it is going to be mid-90s and humid, like high humidity next week. That is going to be intense. And it's like the first week in June. That's crazy town. Or it'll be like the second week of June there. But, you know, it's not freaking August. So, but I audibly gasped when they're like humid and mid-90s. Blah. But I would take it over the negative 40-degree wind chill BS, so I guess it's not that horrible. I just don't want to be stuck inside all day either. Alright, we did it, and I'm noticing as I press this that these edges were all wonky and stuff too, so this isn't going to be perfect rectangles, which will add to our not perfect things going the other direction here. So we got some wobbles here, and I noticed one of these was skinnier on one side and wider on the other, but in general, I think we're good. I'm going to actually just kind of fold this in half. I think that'll help us get like a visual measurement. I don't even think I need to, I don't even want to measure it for real. I'll just start grabbing some strips, and once they're twice as wide as like this folded bit here, then I think we'll be good to go. I'm actually curious if it's wider on one side versus the other. Oh, and you guys, I should, tomorrow I'll show you, but I ordered from eBay. I think I mentioned this in a comment on the Facebook group, but I ordered on eBay. What? Oh, for funny. You guys, I'm hearing this noise. I'm like, what is that? And our window's open. It's a bird outside. I'm not used to having the windows open. But I got a vintage pattern online for one of those chore coats, like one of those quilted, like coats made out of an old quilt. I don't think that's really what the pattern's for, but I'm going to adapt it for that. You know, we've been talking about those chore quilts, or those chore coats, and I think this one looks promising and relatively easy. So I would love to turn my like leader and ender blocks. Let me just grab one so you guys can picture it. But turn. Oh, I'm just making a mess. But like, you know, the leader and ender blocks that look like this, like turn this into one of those chore coats with like some cute pockets and stuff. I think that would be awesome. So this guy might not end up being a quilt. He might end up being a chore coat that isn't really going to be made out of an old quilt, but I'll make it look like it was out of an old quilt. All right, and I just dropped all of my loose pieces all over the floor, so that'll be some cleanup. It wasn't a cicada. I actually think it was a chipmunk doing like that little like chirp, that like bold chirp noise. But it was just odd. I thought my phone was talking to me or something. So this is just a bag. It says assorted strips with the fabric. WOF means width of fabric, which is usually around 42 inches or so. So I just thought, let's see what's in here. Originally, I wanted to chop these and then put like maybe white strips in there, but then I was like, oh, I got all these, and they're kind of too thin for the binding. So I thought we could just sew some of these together. And okay, it looks like two of them together is plenty. So we could just pick any two, like sew them in pairs of two, and then just chop into this and then sew into it. It's going to give it, not a plaid look, but it's going to give it like a weird chopped up piece look, which I think is kind of cool. So, I don't know. I think that's the way to go. I mean, we could do a test. Like, I could just do it with one. So I just grabbed these two, so why don't we do it with these? I'll just set these aside for now. Why don't we sew these two together, and then like literally chop a piece out of here, and then re-sew it together with these in the middle. I think that's how I want to play this game a little bit. So, all right, let's give that a go. So I'm going to just sew these two ends together. I'll like, you know, trim off the selvage. So, geez, both of these are hard to tell what the wrong and the right side are. Okay, that's the right side. Okay, there we go. These are our right sides together. All right, let's give that a sew. Oh, I put my little blocker in the motor there. Okay. Ooh, and my machine, that should be so smooth now because we ironed it. Oh gosh, I did not sew that straight at all. And you know what? I'm going to redo this. Hold on. Typically when I do strips like this, I do it at an angle. I'm going to redo it so it's at an angle. Brains all over. Oh, Deborah, love that idea. I'm going to do that. So Deborah says, when you cut the big pieces, you could even turn one upside down, so it would be even more like wacky. So like, you know, the top line would then be at the bottom line. Oh, I like that. All right, I'm redoing this. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm just gonna, I know I have enough fabric here, so I'm okay just chopping that off. Okay, so let's go like this. There we go. And I'm gonna just stitch on the diagonal. That'll work. Be better to draw with a pencil, but we're being all improv-y now, and I don't need it to be super perfect. I was talking to Jenna about this chore coat made out of these leaders and enders today, and she mentioned, and I don't know why I didn't think about this, but she mentioned, oh, it's going to be extra neat because it was clothes, and now you're like repurposing it into new clothes, and it took me a while. I'm like, oh yeah, because these are all old clothes, so I'm making like old clothes into a quilt and then back into clothes, which is just kind of funny. Alright, let's see what we got now. Alright, so I'm gonna actually just trim this off right away. And I'm just gonna use the scissors. I'm cutting just like a 1/4 inch off. Usually I check this and everything, but we're just doing the one, so we're gonna be fine. I'm going just quick and easy. And I actually might press this because this is crazy folded. It's been stuck in that Ziploc bag for over a year, probably. Jennifer, no plan. No real plan. I guess I sort of had a plan, but then I saw a variable that affected it. So I saw these strips, and I was like, I want to use those strips. Originally, I was going to just cut a bunch of white strips. But then I got thinking, ugh, I'm going to have to measure how long and wide this is, and I don't want to do all that. Then I'm like, oh, I got the strips. 2 strips will be wide enough. Turns out. I don't think I'm gonna, in theory I should pin all, or like clip all of these together so it all stretches at the same rate, but I might not do that. Maybe I'll do it on, maybe I'll just sew one side on, and then maybe I'll clip the second side to make sure it does end up in the same spot. But I actually don't care, I don't think, if it gets a little wonky and a little bumpy. Alright, let's put this aside. I need to chop off a piece from here, and let's just do it. So, alright. I think, let's make this guy wider. That'll give me a little bit more cutting room here. And I think what we'll do is just re-look at this fold here. This side is all messed up. So, you know what? I might just give this a good edge right away, too, especially if we're going to be rotating pieces. This is good because we made all the fabric direction, like all this fabric is directional, meaning like if you turn it upside down, it'll look upside down, versus a tossed pattern where all the shapes are every which way, so no matter what way you look at it. These are all directional, so by turning it upside down and right side up, each strip will kind of be its own directional thing, so that's kind of fun. So we will have some upside down ones and right side up ones. Okay, so I am just going to kind of try and make this a little flatter, but I'm going to fold this again. Trying to get this as flat and nice as possible, meaning I'm going to cut on these folds and try and get these folds as straight as possible and not worry about the ends. So I'm hoping, like right now, I can get this fold on a line and get this fold sort of on a line. But at the same time, it's just going to kind of be what it's going to be. All right, I got to make sure that I'm getting this straight though. So let's see. Okay, so these are the two problem pieces here. So I'm going to actually cut quite a bit off. I'll be cutting right here. Oh, right, 2 lines in. And then we just have to decide how big of a chunk do we want to go out. And it doesn't really matter. We could even go at angles. We probably can't go at angles because it would zigzag because we folded it. But I don't know. This will be an experiment. It'll be kind of fun. All right, let's grab a ruler. I kind of hate folding it because you never know quite how it's going to unfold, but I mean, with a giant long piece like that, that doesn't really make sense. So, this one, that'd be even more difficult to cut. All right, I need a cutting glove and my rotary cutter. All right, so these are some scrappies we can use later for some improv piecing, maybe. We'll just throw them down here. Okay, so now let's just choose. I think let's just, I don't know. Let's just go right here, I guess. Doesn't really matter. I do think I am going to put a teal border around this whole thing because I do still have some of that teal left. So this will just be kind of some weird thing that we do in the middle, and then I might just frame it with the teal. We'll see. Okay, we chopped a piece. I could actually do more right now, couldn't I? Well, we're gonna go one at a... man, I could do more. I should just chop this whole thing up while I'm here, shouldn't I? That might be a good idea. I think I might do that. Let's just full-on chop this thing up and then just deal with whatever happens from that. So we got this. It'll make sewing a lot easier, and then I won't have this big bulk everywhere. But I have to deal with like that I didn't fold this very well. I think I can get one more cut out of this before I'm gonna have to definitely refold because this is starting to get weird over here. So let's just add another chop. Let's make this one a thinner one, maybe. Hey, Lisa, I am working on... Lisa's came in late, wondering what we're doing. I am dinking around with the back of the Granny Square Quilt. So the other time we worked on this, we sewed all these big leftover pieces together. Now I'm kind of chopping it up, and we're gonna put some leftover strips in between all of these and just see what happens. So that's the plan, which is sort of like a non-plan, but that's kind of fun. All right, so here's I think where it's time to undo all this and refold. Get this. So I should have thought of this beforehand, but I didn't. That I could like get the whole thing really nice and laid out. So I'll have to like trim the edge again. Ugh, yeah, I'm totally messing up that nice edge. That's how it goes. So I'm just kind of shaking it out. Okay. Get this nice and flat. Okay, and then try and get this second fold. Like I said, I don't like all this folding. Yeah, I didn't quite do it all the way over here. Actually, this feels kind of funny. Oh, it's just a seam. I'm like, oh, I folded it really poorly. Actually, I think I did. Oh, I'm just folding it right on a seam. Okay, that's making it difficult. All right, let's scooch up, flatten this out. What's going on over here? It's annoying dealing with everything when it's so bulky. That's why I like doing little blocks. Okay, I think that feels better. Okay. This feels like it's in manageable territory. So I will trim the edge again. Probably actually wouldn't have to because I knew it sort of started out as a straight edge, so it'll just be kind of, this will just get kind of crooked, which is kind of fun actually. So maybe I'm not even going to worry about that. I'll just keep cutting. Let's do one here. Glove. Actually, maybe I like them a little thinner. We'll do one here. This one will go a little wider, and then we'll do some thin ones maybe. We're just making more work for ourselves is really what we're doing, but for the sake of maybe a little bit more interesting of a background here. There, like this one we'll do small, and then we'll do a couple large ones. Let's go here. And I'll shimmy sham this over a little bit more. I'm kind of keeping these in order. I don't really need to. I like that we kind of don't know how this is going to turn out. Like there's a theory, but you know, we don't know what the fabrics are going to look like next to each other, and that's kind of exciting. All right. I don't know how far. Okay, I might just chop off this last piece. We're gonna have quite a big edge here again, but I gotta trim all the way to the shortest piece, which is all the way here, it looks like. So let's see, let's cut it on, okay, the 2-inch line I think will do. So these might be a little wobbly and weird, but that's what's gonna be fun about it. Alright, the scrap can go away, and let's chop these up a little. Oh gosh, I veered a bit on there. I'll go one more. I think I might just leave it at these cuts then. Okay, let's do it. Just scooch stuff out of the way because I'm gonna need all the space I can get now, I think. All right, let's just put these kind of back in order for no real reason. Okay, this will be kind of fun. So maybe, well, let's see. What do we got? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. So we would, if we were just doing in the middle, we would need at least 7 of these. And we can always make more of these, but let's see what we got here. So this would be 1. That guy's done. So I'm just going to pair them off. Just want to see if this is just one. I think so. Come on. There we go. Okay. So that's a group. So far we have 4. Let's go here. Oh, we might have just the exact amount that we need for this. That's fun when that happens. Oh, we might be 1 off. Oh no, we do. Okay, check that out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We magically have the exact amount that that we need. So if we think that we're only going to put them in the centers, like in between, and we won't have like an outside edge of these, then we have the exact amount, which is kind of cool. So best way to do this, I think we're just going to go one at a time. I know there's a way that we could make this go a little smoother and quicker for us, but I think I'm just going to sew one to here and then sew it onto another one, and then maybe work on more of these. Or maybe I should do these first. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to sew all these together, press them, and prep them, and then I can just kind of play around here. I can just sew the sides together, flip one. I can always sew these on like the left side or something, and then I'll flip them as I go and always keep sewing on the left, and then I'll put them all together again, and they'll have been flipped back and forth all over. Okay, I like it. Let's prep these other ones. So this guy's done. So let's just head to the sewing machine. We'll just sew these together and then give them all a press. There, then that step will be over with. That'll be nice. Figuring it out as I go here now. Oh, there we are. That's kind of fun. Some days you just need to do that, I think. Okay, right sides together. I'm crossing them over a little bit more just because I'm trying to avoid that selvage, and we'll chop that off. I think these are pretty much at a 90 degree. Not being too exacting here. Alright, so that guy's done. I'm gonna just keep on putting them together. Then we'll snip them all apart after. It's fun to revisit some of these old fabrics though again. These are old penguin and fish fabrics. Deborah's asking, do I know how many inches I need to add for the width? I think I need to add around, I think almost around 20 inches. And you know, we're getting rid of width by making all these because we're getting rid of seam allowances. So if there's 7 here and they're all maybe 1.5 inches, I would say. So we're going to be adding just 7 inches to our like 40, which will now be like more like 38 or something. So we're not really adding much by doing this. So we'll just keep playing. So we'll see what this looks like. I mentioned a little earlier though that I want to, I was thinking I wanted to maybe put a teal border around this. So maybe I'll just, whatever we do for this inside, maybe I'll just cut it into a nice rectangle and put a frame of that teal around it and then call it a day. I think that might be kind of fun. Yep, Susan, this is the this is the backing for the Granny Square Quilt. You are exactly right. So these were just leftover strips. So I guess we must have cut a few more than we needed at the beginning, and so now we're just putting it back in the quilt. This would have been great these were wide enough for the binding, but they're not, and we've actually already cut the binding for this, I believe. But yeah, so why not add them to the mix? Using up fabric. I think it's kind of fun sewing these together and then having them all linked up still on the machine. Alright, last one here. So I do want to press, we'll press and trim all these and then see what we got. So I think this first round where I'm just sewing one of these strips to like the left of every piece, I don't think I'm going to clip those at all. But when I start sewing pieces together just to make sure they end up the same size, that I think I might clip. But we'll get to that. So all right, let's find a leader here. Grab a few more leader pieces, which I still think it's going to be a quilt coat. I really like that idea. I have tons of leftover white muslin, or just like white and cream muslin, just like ones that weren't good enough for kits, so they have like weird markings and stuff on. I might just sew all that for the inside of this chore quilt that I'm thinking of, or chore coat. All right, look at this crazy mess here. All right, it's like a banner of all of our pieces, so let's just snip them apart so we can press them all. That's crazy that I cut just enough for the pieces that we had. I was not expecting that. It's always fun when those little bonus magics happen. This up. Actually, let's fold you up. There we are. Oops. There. Making a mess. All right, and you're done. There we go. Let's press the rest of these and trim them. So I'm trimming first. I don't always do that, but we're doing that today. My little baby scissors too. That works. Okay. Normally I probably wouldn't bother pressing these, but they're so wrinkly from being in that Ziploc. Am I going to jelly roll race? Oh, no, I'm not gonna. Amy, I'm not quite sure I know what you mean, but do you mean like sewing these all together and then just keep chopping them? Something like that. I'm just going to sew them in between. This is that back of the quilt that we sewed with those large pieces of fabric. I'm just going to go in between those at random spots. And I'm going to have excess of the strips, like they'll be leftover big chunks of those, and I'm just going to I don't know, use them for scraps or something else, I guess. Or maybe I'll sew them, what's left over together in a little square, and that could be a little patch or something, I don't know. Haven't thought that far ahead. I'm just barely thinking one step ahead here, or not even. This will be fun to play around with, though, this week. We have a shortened week this week. Oh, the ironing and prepping, or cutting prep. Typically my least favorite part of the process, but we're being so, like, on the fly with it now that it's actually kind of fun. Like, we're making our just decisions on stuff. Decisions as we go. Tomorrow, I'll once the site is live, I'll talk about the June embroidery of the month a little bit more. I know I don't have that posted yet because it's only going to be on the new site, which will be live without a password tomorrow. So as of tomorrow, you won't need the password anymore to get in. We just had a little 2-hour opening of the shop today with a password, so that password has been changed, so that doesn't work anymore, and we're making our final updates based on some of your comments, and it will go live for real tomorrow at that new website, the penguinandfish.myshopify.com, but that will hopefully be switching over to just Penguin and Fish again as well. So that'll be a little bit of a thing over the next few days, so thanks for bearing with us, but I'm really excited about the new site. I think some things will be easier, and we got that digital library up. So again, if you're trying to access the website today, like if you signed up for that raccoon pattern, the raccoon sampler, and can't get to the videos, that's why. It's because just today we re-password protected it. So as of tomorrow, you won't have that issue. All your stuff will be there. We didn't think that through completely. But it's there, and you'll be able to access it and tomorrow morning. And we'll send an email out about that too. So I know we're sending emails on how to do stitches and you can't access it, but you will. Today's the only day that's not true. That's kind of what I like, Sylvia. I like playing around with the back, and lately, like the past several quilts I've done, I've just been trying to use scraps and use fabric that was used in the quilt on the front, and even better if I use up that fabric in the back, because then it's like I'm honoring that fabric by it just being in this quilt, you know, which I just kind of think is neat. So yep, these strips happen to be in the scraps for this quilt. I've had a bin just for the leftover fabric, and I'm like, hey, those would be kind of fun. I talked about wanting to maybe, and that's what these are too. These are just bigger pieces. So I sewed those together last time we worked on this, and you know, we're just chopping it up, adding more stuff to it. But yeah, I do like that, playing around with it a little bit like this, you know, deciding to chop up your big pieces of fabric into something smaller. I do like that you get to make kind of a decorative back too. So you can kind of decide, do I want a nice formal look on my bed today, or do I want it to be more abstract, I suppose. So you're giving yourself an option. And again, I just feel like I'm kind of slow motion recycling, using up fabric that would have been just scraps or garbage. use for something. These strips I would have eventually used for something, even if it was just like taking a strip and like using it as like a gift wrap bow. That would be just like tying it around a box or something. Even that would be kind of fun. All right, I think we got some pieces here now. I would like to try and sew a strip yet tonight, so let's do that. I'm going to sew. Let's see. How should we group this? Well, first let's unfold it. Okay, so I have the pink at the top. So I think I'm always going to sew to the right. Let's see. I think I'm going to have to think about this a little bit. So I'm going to start with this face up. I actually only need to sew on all the ones in the inside. So let's see. That would be here. So all right, fine. I'm confusing myself. All I got to do is just start. So let's sew these together. I'm going to just trim off this selvage so I can start at the top. Close enough to 90 degrees. All right, so normally I would clip the top and bottom of this, but I'm just going to go and see, just live with what happens. Which actually might make the quilt back a little wobbly, or like it'll stretch this strip a little bit. So that's a look that, the quilt police will know that I didn't clip this, but oh well. They'll see other things too, so who cares? Just letting the machine do its job and pull everything for me. I probably won't press all of this until it's completely together, just because that sounds annoying. The less pressing, the better. Ooh, this gray is going to look awesome against this bright green. We can peek at what this might look like with the next row upside down. This is the kind of sewing where one runs out of bobbins. I know we just changed the bobbin, but it's just these long rows that you sew together. So luckily we have some more bobbins wound. Almost there. Oh gosh, this is veering off all over the place. So this feels like super crooked. So this will be interesting. We're definitely gonna not have super straight lines on this back, but that might make it even more fun. Maybe we'll even exaggerate that more. Like when we're done with this, we can chop this up even more if we want. All right, let's just take a look quick. So here, I think I just want to trim this, even though this is not straight at all. I don't know, maybe I don't want to trim this. This just seems all sorts of crazy. But all right, so this will go like so in theory. And then the next one we'll actually do upside down. Yeah, like this. So we'll have this piece here. So we'll be kind of trading it off. So it's going to be like this kind of fun patchworky rectangle situation on the back. I like it. I think that's going to be kind of fun. All right, so I think we'll probably end it there tonight, but I think we'll probably be able to sew all of these tomorrow, and maybe we can even start sewing the pairs together. I think we can actually make it really far on this tomorrow. And you know what? This might be interesting enough for the back. So we do this, and however it ends up being, I just frame it, the whole thing, with enough teal, which I think I still have enough of to do. So it's just kind of like a framed, goofy rectangle on the back of the quilt. That might be just pleasant enough. We'll see. All right. So awesome. So thanks again for joining me for this, working through the Granny Square Quilt. We're going to be finishing a pile of these quilts this year. I think all of our quilts that we're working on are kind of coming to an end, or they're getting to the quilting stage. There's still a lot to it yet, but as far as all the steps go that to make a quilt, we're towards the end, which is great. Yes, so, and again, our new website is going to be for real live tomorrow, so we'll be sending an email out about that, and let us know what you think. We're taking all comments and everything, so you can just email at info@penguinandfish, and we'll get everything up and running. Your PDF patterns you'll be able to access again tomorrow if you purchased them today, and we won't have it password protected anymore after today. So thanks, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night.